A potentially significant severe weather threat is about to unfold in portions of the southern Mississippi River Valley, Louisiana, and Mississippi under a 15 to 30% risk of tornadoes. Let's break this event down so you know how to plan out your day on Wednesday. So first, we're going to take a look at the Storm Prediction Center outlooks. These are day 2 outlooks, so things could still increase a bit or decrease, but a significant risk. This is a level 4 out of 5, a moderate risk of severe storms in portions of Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. This includes Jackson, Mississippi, and Baton Rouge, Louisiana, 2 places we'll be looking at a bit later. You also have this enhanced risk, this level 3 out of 5, extending into the Florida Panhandle, as well as all the way back into Lake Charles, Louisiana, and as far north as right around Birmingham, Alabama. So again, many areas to watch here in the southern Mississippi River Valley and the southeast on Wednesday for significant severe storms. Let's break this down here, starting off with the tornado outlook. You can see that 15 to 30% risk of tornadoes in this red area here. That includes Jackson and Baton Rouge, those moderate risk areas. We also see that yellow in those enhanced risk areas. But I want to draw your attention to this hatched area right in here, indicated by this black outline. This means that there is a 10% probability of EF2 or greater tornadoes in these areas. So not just the significant threat for tornadoes overall, but also a significant threat for increased tornado damage because of these tornadoes. So EF2 or greater, we're not talking about EF0 spin-ups. These are significant tornadoes possible in this hatched area indicated here. Let's break this down even more. Severe winds, a 45% risk in portions of Louisiana and Mississippi in those moderate risk areas. Another hatched risk here. These areas could see winds of excess of 74 knots. That is over tropical storm force in portions of the gust fronts of these storms. So again, extensive wind damage also possible with these storms on Wednesday. And for hail, a bit less of a threat, but still we're in this 15 to 25% risk in portions of Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas, Texas. All these areas in the southern Mississippi River Valley could also see hail with this storm. So let's take a look here at the broader view of this storm system. You can see a lot of activity going on in the south right now, but a low pressure will start to brew up here right along the Gulf Coast, and that's where most of these significant storms are going to be coming from. As this low develops and a cold front will start to form, we'll see those significant storms just to the east of that cold front here in portions of Louisiana and Mississippi, before eventually this whole low pressure system moves to the north and east, where again we have another soaker on our hands in portions of the northeast, an area that has already seen plenty of rainfall over the past 2 weeks or so. We also will be breaking this down at a much smaller level. Here is that severe storm risk. You can see that low pressure popping in and out, but as this low pressure really starts to take hold here, we're going to be seeing this start to pop up, those thunderstorms right out in front, and this is our main risk right here. You can see all those thunderstorms starting to brew in that moderate risk area that we were just talking about. I'm going to let this play through one more time. Let's just really break this down here. So we can see here at the very beginning of the loop, some storminess overall, but really nothing really consistent. But as we get into this low pressure starting to form, we'll see those consistent thunderstorms starting to pop up right in here, boom. And then as they start to slide across, you can see that Gulf moisture brought up, and a significant amount of storms pop up along that line as well. So again, take note of those areas right in here. Those are the areas where those storms could just pop up out of nowhere and will be in a very conducive environment for tornadoes. So this is something called a low cape but high shear event. So how things work is a tornado needs to rotate. So wind shear is just a change of wind direction with height, or a change of wind speed with height. And that causes that rotation for a tornado to form. But you also need thunderstorms to form, and that's where cape comes in. That's basically the energy needed for those storms to form. So we could see some of these storms not form, and that does lower the risk of a tornado forming within them. But if these storms do pop up, there is a higher probability that those tornadoes start to form and these cells start to rotate within these storms. So really take note of this area, as we're really boom or bust with this system here, very similar to another outbreak that we had earlier this year. So let's take a look here at something called a significant tornado parameter. This basically measures how likely a tornado is in a certain area. We're looking at the higher values here, really starting to pop up right here in portions of Louisiana and maybe even portions of Mississippi, but mostly southern Louisiana, right in here. I'm playing it through again. You can see as this cold front starts to push through, those increased values spike right here. So those are the areas that the HRRR, which you can see right in the top corner, thinks is the most conducive area for tornadoes to form on Wednesday. So again, highlighting this area right in here for some tornadoes based on this model run that I got a little bit earlier. We also have an increased rain threat in many of these areas, northern Louisiana, southern Arkansas, where those storms are going to form. And over the past few days, we've been seeing plenty of rain in these regions. We're going to be seeing even more rain with this system, and it extends further north and east, where an already soggy area is going to be getting more rain from this system. Just a dreary start to April, especially in the Northeast, where areas, especially I'm at Penn State and State College, we almost picked up 4 inches of rain last week. We're adding to it. So again, a potential flood risk, flash flooding possible in the Northeast as well as this storm system rolls through. So let's time out some of these storms that we were talking about earlier. Baton Rouge, Louisiana, here's your hourly forecast. So starting off 10 and 11 a.m., mostly going to be rain, but those thunderstorms start to move in around 12. Now, those severe thunderstorms, this is what I indicated with a significant tornado parameter, so what we were just looking at with those reds. If that was over 3, I indicated it with a red lightning bolt right here. So that's when those areas of really severe weather could be moving through around 1 p.m. local time. These are both in central time. And then we'll see some more storms start to roll in around 3 p.m. before things start to taper off around 5. So as we move to Jackson, Mississippi, again, I kind of shifted things a bit on this scale here, but here's your hourly forecast. Those severe thunderstorms hit around the same time as Baton Rouge, around 1 p.m., but thunderstorms continue 2 and 3 p.m., and then things start to taper off around 7. But again, severe thunderstorms possible around 1 p.m. Central Time for both of these areas. So again, take note of that time, but also take note of that time where I just have a yellow lightning bolt here. Although the significant tornado parameter is not over 3, that doesn't mean that a tornado cannot pop up in these thunderstorms, but still a significant threat here in portions of Jackson, Mississippi, especially this early in the afternoon. Usually in these areas, we're accustomed to later severe threats, but this one's just a tad earlier here at 1 p.m. So take note of that time. Take note of all these times that I just showed here as we broke this down. So I hope everyone stays safe tomorrow. And for any more updates on this system throughout the day, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell here so you never miss another weather update, especially for times like this. We're about to get into peak tornado season and severe weather season in the U.S. That's usually around May. So please take note of that, and I hope everyone stays safe tomorrow.